A strong commitment to boosting domestic manufacturing, President Uhuru Kenyatta has launched several flagship manufacturing projects under the Big Four agenda. The blend of manufacturing projects launched by the President cut across various manufacturing subsectors, including agro-processing, pharmaceutical industry, textile and leather industries, vehicle assembly, iron and steel, ICT, as well as oil, mining and gas industry. Among some of the key manufacturing projects that President Uhuru Kenyatta has recently launched and which are aimed at contributing significantly to job creation include the 4 billion Kenya shillings worth light weapons manufacturing plant at Ruiru, the plant which has estimated production capacity of 12,000 assault rifles is poised to source up to 60% of its raw materials locally, creating a huge market for domestic producers. In April 2021, President Uhuru Kenyatta presided over the launch of nanotechnology and semiconductor manufacturing facility at Dedan Kimathi University. Kenya's maiden entry into the nanotechnology industry underscored the President's grand foresight for the country. According to the industry insiders, global semiconductor and nanotechnology industry is bound to increase multiple-fold in the next few years as demand for artificial intelligence continues to grow exponentially.
This is going to be the future for us to be able to now make our own motherboards, and from making our own motherboards to making our own television sets, to making our own mobile telephones. These are all new opportunities that are all going to be created from this seemingly very small but very critical foundation towards our manufacturing agenda for our republic.
Also significant in the series of manufacturing projects launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta is opening of the Kenya Shipyard Limited in Kisumu City. The President officially opened the shipbuilding and repair yard in May 2021. The facility has yards both in Kisumu and Mombasa and is expected to ramp up building of new ships and repair of the existing ones to cope up with demands for water transport within the Great Lakes region. The facility is also expected to create direct and indirect jobs to the local populations. Both bilateral and public-private partnerships remains vital in ensuring Kenya achieves its manufacturing growth goals as projected in the Big Four agenda, and Kenyans should continue supporting these flagship projects as they portend a better socio-economic growth now and in the future.
Thank you very much, viewers. Today, we take this opportunity on behalf of Punchline Africa Television to thank you for the patronage that you have shown us since the inception for 7 years ago. The inception of online TV created quite a lot of anxiety amongst the people. But here we are. This is the 7th year we have been online, and we are the first people online. Our role is to show what has been achieved, what President Uhuru Kenyatta has achieved, the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. We have been writing articles. We have written articles read by over 25 million people on our website. But what we want to do is now physically to assess what can be done, what can be got, what is left, what can Raila Amolo Odinga and the Azimio government that will be coming in next September do to accomplish the mission and to keep the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. There are many things that have happened, many things that have been done which were not there 10 years ago. Therefore, there is need to keep record of these things. The legacy trend, therefore, will be in areas in each region, and I call upon all the coordinators to be alert, to bring in all the projects, the roads, the schools, the hospitals, the dispensaries, the entire infrastructure that has made the food security. We shall visit all those places. We shall also explain to the people the usage, the highway, the express, where we see the railway, the right SGR railway, which goes up to Naivasha, which people want to return and remove and return. Yet it is going that side. It helps the hinterland of Africa. This is what we intend to achieve. But in achieving this, what have we tried to show? We want to showcase by case the obstacles, the challenges, how much could be done if this politics was involved, the fight against corruption. How much could be done if everybody worked like President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the way he has worked? It would be better. The country would be better. Africa would be better. We want to thank you, President Uhuru Kenyatta, for having worked hard, tirelessly to put up and stick to the Constitution, which was from 2010, implemented it to fully as it is today. We thank you again, and we shall be exhibiting those projects from judiciary, from transport, food security, mining, tourism, infrastructure of all types, education, sports. How many of this stadium have you built? How many are complete? Devolution kept on check. What is happening there? Wherever you are across Kenya, send us your message. Is there a road? Is there a grader? Is there a road? Is there a place that you have gone where you used not to go? How many people in Kenya don't use these roads? But the worst part is that we forget that this money you have to borrow to put in infrastructure for us tomorrow to use the roads to export the raw materials. I therefore want to thank you and thank President Uhuru Kenyatta for what he has done for this country called Kenya. You have built an infrastructure that people will see the benefits in years to come. This is the legacy, the founder member of the legacy, and the coordinator of the legacy. Moderator, thank you very much. I'm Dr. David Matsanga. Thank you. Take care. See you on the legacy trend.
The government of President Uhuru Kenyatta earmarked several dam construction projects under the Big Four flagship projects to boost food production. Food security is one of the critical pillars under the Big Four agenda projects, which the government is currently implementing across the country through multiple supporting infrastructures. Recent completion of the construction of the Eba Dam in central Kenya comes as a big relief to many rice farmers in the expansive Mwea irrigation scheme, who was later to benefit immensely once the dam is filled. The 15 million cubic meters capacity dam is expected to contribute to a significant reduction of Kenya's annual rice consumption deficit by up to 86,000 metric tons. The dam is also expected to increase acreage of rice production in Mwea by up to 10,000 acres, which will lead to creation of many jobs in the Kenyan rice production value chain. It has been estimated that its full operational capacity, the Thiba Dam, will contribute an additional 6 billion Kenya shillings to the country's GDP annually. In Kiambu County, Karimenu 2 Dam is slated for completion in the second quarter of the year 2022. The 26.5 cubic meter dam is expected to provide up to 70 million liters of water daily for domestic and irrigation use for the residents in its vicinity and the surrounding areas. Phase 1 of the Thwake multipurpose dam is expected to be completed by June 2022. Phase 1 alone has a 688 million cubic meter capacity. The dam is expected to have a 20 megawatt hydroelectric power project on its second phase, while Phase 3 will provide an estimated 150,000 cubic meters of clean water for residents of Kitui, Makueni and parts of Machakos counties daily. And Phase 2 of the dam will also have sanitation and wastewater facilities. Currently, the government of Kenya is in the process of implementing the Agricultural Sector Transformation and Growth Strategies ASTGS 2019-2029, a comprehensive agricultural growth strategy which aims to set up 6 agro-processing hubs across Kenya for local and domestic markets, unlock 50 new large-scale private firms with more than 2,500 acres, increase access to farm inputs and equipment to up to 1 million small-scale farmers countrywide, facilitate skill acquisition and transfer, entrench research and innovation. The decade-long agricultural transformation strategy contributes significantly to the realization of not only food security, but also making agricultural sector profitable to many Kenyans that are employed in the sector. It has been estimated that for every 1% growth in Kenya's agricultural sector, there is usually a corresponding positive growth of 1.6% overall GDP growth. The ongoing dam projects will contribute significantly to the realization of the great potential of Kenya's agricultural sector and food security.
Viewers across the globe, the Ocean Conference that took place in Lisbon, starting from yesterday, was an indication of how serious it is for the current generation to discuss the climate change that is taking place all over the whole world. Across the continents, pollution remains the big obstacle to a better, free and clean air that would actually make inhabitable subjects stay well. Good afternoon, viewers. Thank you very much. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Political Command Center in the headquarters in Mombasa. Thank you very much. Yesterday and throughout the week and all this month and last month, we have been on the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. We have done the projects and we continue to do projects, sampling projects that have been finished in most of the places internally in the country. But we have also projects that President Uhuru Kenyatta started and worked on internationally and regionally and then African continent. This afternoon, we are going to go through some of the silent diplomatic maneuvers that have brought Kenya to the level of where Kenya is revered in the whole world as one of the countries from sports, from diplomacy, investment, the economic stability, the peaceful environment that you see in Kenya. Good morning, wherever you are in Nigeria, Good afternoon, wherever you are in the southern hemisphere, and a good evening in Australia as you go to sleep. We are waking up to work. Thank you very much. This morning, all of you in London, you know very well that it is a crunch time. Prices are high everywhere. The Ukrainian problem is an international problem. It is a problem for everybody. It touches every human being across the world until either it ends up in a third world war, which will affect all of us. The territories, non-territories of Europe and the territories of Europe, we are all affected because the blockade where Russia sends in fuel, gas, oil to come to the western part of Europe have been affected. And therefore you expect prices to go. Miriam has dealt with that, the issue of prices. Previously, in the Kenyan government, William Ruto has been telling people about the prices, that it is because of the international crisis, and they used it as a milestone to go and confuse people that there is nothing, there's something which is not right. But then the government has done what we call a subsidy. A government does subsidies to places where it feels it can create a problem. And I believe Miriam talked about subsidy yesterday of the ugali, the flour mill, the mill that we call is a subsidy. A subsidy is to cushion the prices for some time, like the subsidy on oil, the subsidy on fertilizers, the subsidy on food prices, so that you don't go to riot. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that indeed the channels where grain was coming from, where the flour was coming from have been blocked. And for people to reason like a children, like a Ruto, a man who has gone to school, who should be reasoning like a person sensible who has got a PhD, is reasoning that the Ukrainian problem does not raise the flour, the price of the maize meal in Kenya, is the most naive statement that I've heard from this campaign. Therefore, for me, I will leave that for Miriam to be tackling. I am coming from an international aspect of life, of watching as we go towards time ya kulala salama, which is, it is time ya kulala salama. This is it. We are heading towards the end of the tenure of office of His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. What has he achieved? What can we help him to achieve? 20 days left. If elections go through and there are no challenges in the court, we are looking at around another 34 days. Within the 34 days, that is 14 days, within 14 days, once the court finds either not if their complaints and their complaints are genuine enough, President Uhuru Kenyatta still has about 30 to 42 days in this country to remain as the head of state and to wait until a new government is finally installed and hands over power. You have to know that after the elections, within 14 days, a petition must be passed if they are. But looking at the number of petitions that have already lined up, Miriam, we are going to go through there. We like it or not, we are going to go through the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has got timelines. You don't tell them to finish the case. They have 14 days to make sure that they look at the evidence and come back. So 20 plus 14 comes to 34. And Uhuru Kenyatta will remain the leader of this country up to 34 and extra. And then if it is another election, a second runoff, or we want to get the winner, we still have 3 months. And Uhuru Kenyatta still will remain the president still catering, looking at foreign policy, although between that time there is no more parliament, so he can't make decisions, he can't sign bills. This is some of the things we need to explain to Kenyans. So when you tell another Kenyan that I want you to go, you go where? Or get out and go, sign and finish and go. Go where? On 10th of August, or 9th of August, and the 10th of August. Can you tell this man to manage his phone? Yes. Mr. Tanui, manage your phone. Thank you very much. On 10th of August, we shall hear the results. Or 13th of August, or 12th of August, or 11th of August. We shall hear the results. And once we hear the results will determine, but it doesn't automatically mean the results coming out, the person will walk to State House. There must be a process. The governing council must arrange the date of swearing in, which is again stipulated within the law. So for now, Miriam, we are looking around December, around November, with speculations both if there is nothing happens to the vote. But the only thing that I want you to emphasize when you come back tomorrow on this show of yours of Good Morning, which you will be conducting, I will come in with my editor's memo only to analyze the key issues. Ask for the cargo manifest. Where is the cargo manifest? Original cargo manifest. And I repeat, ask Chebukati to produce the original cargo manifest. Yes. The cargo came, the ballots came. Where is the original cargo manifest? I tell you, he will commit suicide. Because, you know, the wife of Chebukati is asking for prayers. We don't know what is going on. Maybe she has seen some things that we have not seen. Maybe she wants to tell Kenyans something which is truthful. But for now, Miriam, that is your subject. Let's stick to silent diplomatic moves for President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Thank you. Back to you in the studio. I can see Tawish Olesisana. Good morning.
Very good morning indeed to you, Dr. Masanga, and good morning to Miriam Mogutu. Good morning to all our colleague panelists and all our viewers watching this program in Africa and the rest of the world. My pleasure to join you on this program, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much. This is your favorite program, Diplomatic Leaks, and therefore we can leak the way forward and see what is going to happen. Let's loop in ahead and leak some of this information. There war coming, what is coming. Within this program, we predict even military coups. Yes, there could be a coup in any African country anytime. Yes, yes, yes. So we get prepared. Don't blame me. Don't blame Matang. Blame yourself. I am now only telling you as an African. I was telling Zimbabweans last night, and I believe Tawish must have joined in the Twitter. It was hot. Tanui, thank you very much. Thousands. They came in thousands. And I told them proudly that I have no regrets. It is up to you. It's not my country. Zimbabwe is not my country. So if I'm telling you to help you to clean yourself, it's up to you. If you want to kill it, you can kill it. Miriam, there is no more kubebeleshana sasa. Kama watu wanataka kuvunja their country, my country is already vunjat. It has been vunjat. So kama yewe ujui to get experience from me, that I tell you there is a problem, it's up to you. So thank you very much, Tawish, for joining us. And thank you very much, Javan Karanja. Good morning from Nanyuki.
Good morning, Dr. David Matsanga, Tawish, Miriam, and Kiptanui. It's always a pleasure being on Punchline Television.
Together with me.
Together with Dr. David Matsanga.
I can see you are doing a secret opinion polls, nightly secret opinion polls. Yesterday you were in Kiambu. When are you coming towards Nairobi?
Maybe in the course of the week, but I'm not really specific when. But when I'm around, I will notify you, Dr. David Matsanga.
Thank you very much, my brother. God bless you. Let's join the program. Tanui from Nakuru, Nanyuki, and Tawish, you have already told us where you are from in Narok. Thank you very much. All those arrows should reflect that. I think Narok, Nakuru, and Nanyuki, Stephen production team, let it be known that way. We don't want to endanger lives of our people. We only endanger Miriam's, who is in the general headquarters. Thank you very much. Because we are in the field, Miriam, we are the field officers. So field officers in journalism don't usually disclose locations. Isn't it one of the tenets of journalism? You have got to be discreet and operate. You are in Baghdad while you are in Accra. Yes, thank you very much. And thank you very much, Miriam. Let's begin. Let's go. First, let's look at international agreements. How many of these agreements has Uhuru Kenyatta signed? How many of them are beneficial to Kenyans? How many of them have been fulfilled and worked on? Are there any that have been broken? Are there promises that in international law that we wanted that has not worked? The question of Somalia, for example, between Somalia and Kenya, the new president, Uhuru Kenyatta succeeded in installing getting a new partner in Somalia who wants peace, who works for peace, who loves peace. That one is a very big tick, a tick. You know very well if Farmajo had won this election in Somalia, Miriam, and on the international aspect, Kenya would be still fumbling and having a threat over these island waters of Indian Ocean where oil blocks have become contentious. Let's discuss the international agreements. Pick any. Thank you. Back to you, Miriam.
All right. Thank you for that. And I think one key international agreement that Kenya entered while President Uhuru Kenyatta is still the president is the African Continental Free Trade Area, and Kenya was among the nearly 50 African nations signed a deal to create the AfCFTA in Kigali in Rwanda in March 21, 2018, making a historic milestone in the economic integration of the continent. The formation of a free trade area spanning Africa creates a single market of 1.2 billion people with a combined gross domestic product of more than $2 trillion US, and that is according to UNCTAD. And we do know that it has not fully come into effect yet because of other frameworks, but this went to show the need, I think, for the Kenyan government to want Kenya to belong, and the importance of having a free trading area for Africans, because we believe that a lot of things that we manufacture across the continent, like Doc, you've suggested in several locations, we could trade within ourselves in this continent and maybe create policies that will enable us to trade within ourselves and ultimately give us the financial independence that a lot of African countries are looking for. So perhaps I'll just go to Samuel Tawish, and if this is fully realized, what could this mean to not only Kenya but also other countries across the continent, this agreement that Kenya got itself into?
Thank you once more, Miriam, and thank you, Dr. Masanga, and of course, all our correspondents spread across the country. Indeed, Miriam, this is a very good milestone for not only Kenya, but I think for the rest of the African continent. And looking onto it globally, or rather from a global point of view, because again, we need a diplomacy that, a foreign diplomacy that will be able to have a very good relationship between Kenya and the rest of the African nation, if not the entire globe. Miriam, because you understand the aspect of trade between Kenya and the rest of the African continent, and that can only be harnessed if we have good relationship or a good rapport between Kenya and these respective countries. You cannot be able to trade without that good rapport. And looking into it, Miriam, you will appreciate that there are so many products, for example, be it farm produce or otherwise, that Kenya is producing in the country, and not all can be consumed by the Kenyan population. And so you'll need really to trade with the outside world. You'll need to trade with the rest of the African continent for the Kenyan nation to be able to get revenue out of this trading. Talk, for example, also about tourism. If you do not have a very friendly foreign policy, then the tourism sector will equally be killed. And so when you have a president or a government that is initiating and making sure that Kenya is become part and parcel of the global world, where we are able to sign or to get into this particular pacts that are going to be beneficial not only for this nation but the rest of the continent. Look, for example, Miriam, the kind of restored relationship between Kenya and Somalia, an aspect that Dr. Masanga has well articulated. I mean, when we had the previous president, that is Mohamed Farmajo, I mean, the relationship between Somalia and Kenya was, you'll agree that it was deteriorating. But again, with the coming in of the new president, I'm very confident, just like Dr. Masanga has mentioned, that probably, most certainly rather, we are going to have even the maritime dispute in the Indian Ocean being resolved amicably. And not only that, look onto the mirror trade. I mean, the other day, President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Agriculture Minister, that is Peter Munya, were in Somalia. And they reached that particular agreement where Kenya will now be able to export directly the miraa produced in Kenya to Somalia. That is good news for farmers in Kenya. That is good news for Kenyans. That is also good news for the Kenyan government because, again, out of this trading, Kenya will be able to get revenue. The miraa farmers, especially drawn from the Meru region, will also be able to transport their miraa to such destinations and be able to get, of course, payments or dividends out of their sweat. So this is good news, Miriam. I will say, for example, when you talk about the maize farming in the country today, Kenya has had a very, very rough time in the recent past, even with the price of unga going to as far as 230 shillings per 2 kg packet, Miriam. Because again, we may not have had good relation maybe with our neighboring countries who are doing enough or excess maize farming. For example, Uganda. I mean, you'll never hear of such issues in Uganda, like the people of Uganda are going hungry, or that maybe the prices of basic commodities are getting high. But again, when we open up this trade and government does subsidy and government gets into this pact, we are able to get this, of course, farm produce and also do trade with our neighbors and the rest of the African continent. Then that in itself translates to easing the burden that the Kenyan people are going through. If you talk about hunger, if you talk about trade, if you talk about foreign, and generally also just the relationship between the Kenyan people and the rest of the continent. So I fully support those treaties that President Uhuru Kenyatta and the diplomacy that is carrying out. I understand he is also out of the country, if I'm not very wrong. And such are the things we want to see from a president. Such are the legacy. We don't want a president who is going to leave this country in turmoil. We do not want a president who is going to leave this country in the hands or Kenya not being in good relationship with her neighbors or the rest of the African continent, if not globally. So this is a diplomacy that we must support President Uhuru Kenyatta on, especially as his exit as the President of the Republic of Kenya is imminent. And that the person that the Kenyan people are going to vote in come the 9th of August is one who is going to continue to maintain and even expand this foreign diplomacy so that the Kenyan people can be able to enjoy the good rapport and relationship that they have had over time with the rest of the world. I submit, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much. And just a quick one. There is something known as the generalized systems of preferences. And under the generalized system of preferences, a wide range of Kenya's manufactured products are entitled
to a preferential duty-free in so many countries that we didn't even know about, like in Australia, Austria, Canada, Finland, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, and other European countries and the United States. And in addition, no quantitative restrictions are applicable to Kenya exports on any of the 3,000 plus items currently eligible to this preference treatment. And additional information, of course, is available on the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. So under President Uhuru Kenyatta, we've seen that happen. And also Kenya has signed multiple bilateral agreements with so many countries. I can't even go through this whole list. And so perhaps under President Uhuru Kenyatta, we know he is the current chair of the East African Community. Under him, we saw Kenya get a spot at the United Nations Security Council as a non-permanent member. And under him, we also saw Kenya, and Kenya is still chairing the AU Peace and Security Council. Perhaps looking at these very key important positions under Kenya has chaired under President Uhuru Kenyatta, Doc, how would you say Kenya has used these positions to advance diplomacy and peace and security, especially in the larger East African region? Doc? Okay, Jevan. All right, Kiptanui, would you like to take that up? Go ahead.
Yeah, yes, Miriam. Yes. Miriam, this is a great subject, and I'm happy that you've ushered me in this afternoon. This afternoon, I want to state the following, Miriam, that I was reading somewhere that since 2013, since Uhuru Kenyatta took over the power, he has started to so many countries to actually to meet with various heads of state, mobilizing some resources 12 last year. Yesterday night, I got an opportunity to follow up the conversation which was there on Dr. Masanga's Twitter space. Miriam, people are daring each other in Zimbabwe. You see, and I learn a lot of things that Miriam, here in this country called Kenya, we are doing well. There is a time, Miriam, we had a problem with Migingo, our neighbors here in Uganda. People were suggesting that let President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, let him send Navy so that he fight with Uganda and will claim back this. But he didn't do that. Instead, he went for consultations, but not confrontations. Miriam, last time we had a problem with Pharmacy up here about our maritime, and we sorted out that one amicably without even going to war. There are some instances, Miriam, that it has forced us to go to war, but President Uhuru Kenyatta did not even choose that direction. But because of the peace, Miriam, when you travel,
Breaking news. Just a minute, Kiptanui, breaking news coming in right now. Governor, I was with Governor Waira in the same. I want now to announce to you that silent diplomacy pays. We discussed quite a number of things. Governor Waira is my great friend for many years. Many of you Kenyans might not know. Yes. And I want now to tell you frankly that contrary to friends who lie to you at night and then come during the time, disappear somewhere, he has fulfilled what we discussed in Mombasa from Friday, Saturday. Thank you very much. He has joined His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and taken all his supporters in Muranga who love him to come to Azimio with effect from now. And it is just now breaking news on TV. Thank you very much, Governor Waria, Miriam. That is what they call silent diplomacy. We didn't know that I was in the court. So thank you, God bless you. This is what Matanga fights for. And that's what I work for. I seriously work hard. And if Kenya does not see what were brought, Muranga Fort was going to be very tough for Raila Amolo Odinga. But if we can split it by having Wairia on our side, Wairia was a governor, and you don't expect a governor not to have voters. So there you are. Good things on Tuesday morning. You can continue with diplomatic links. Now you can know that I am also a silent diplomatic maneuverer.
All right. It's,
So, thank you.
all right. It's about 9 minutes to 1 p.m., so it's afternoon, Doc. But thank you so much for that breaking news. All right. Thank you so much for that. Kiptanui, you were saying something.
Yes, let me congratulate the former governor, the governor, the outgoing governor for Mwangi Wairia. Along these streets of Nakuru, there's a very big poster. And remember Miriam, recently was when he was actually going towards being clear. He actually had a lot of cars around Nakuru. We counted almost 11. So we want to congratulate him for taking a step, for not joining the thieves, but for coming to the winning team. Another thing I want to say is that congratulations, Daktari, for what you are doing. You are actually doing a lot of work, and you have a place. One time when you leave this art, because you are at one point in life you will not be around. Jesus also was here and he went to heaven. So you will be remembered. You will be remembered for having stood for the right things in all the African countries. Miriam, let me come now back. I was telling you yesterday I was following a conversation on his Twitter space, and people were tearing each other. So, unlike our country where we have peace, and Miriam, you are witness since 2013 up to now, Uhuru Kenyatta has done a lot of things silently. He has been traveling, although he has been criticized so much, up to one time in life he was called sub-loans. You remember sub-loans means he's going there, he's bringing loans, but he complained one time that he's bringing these things to develop this country, but people are stealing them. So we want to congratulate him as he's exiting the stage in some few days to come. Recently, Miriam, I was reading somewhere that how did this Uhuru Kenyatta achieve these things? Well, why is it that we did not go to war in Somalia to fight with Farmajo? Why is it that we didn't rush to Upper Chini to fight Magufuli when he was alive? He ordered for our chickens to be our chicks to be banned. Recently, we hear that there was a problem with Maasais who are living in Arusha, and our brothers and sisters here in Migingo. So it has all of this in summary, Miriam. I want to say in one statement that it has been achieved through consultation, no confrontations, and we want to ask for the person who is coming, the president who is coming, to take over from there and to engage in consultation but not war. African countries, Miriam, has experienced a lot of war. Well, if you are actually listening to what these other Africans, our brothers and sisters in different parts of Africa, what they were speaking is so bitter. Militaries have been sanctioned due to war, due to their bad diplomacy relations with other countries. So let us maintain what we used to do. But Miriam, another challenge is this: how is it these people from the Kenya Kwanza coming to endeavor or coming to continue with what Uhuru Kenyatta has done, and yet they have been complaining that you've been bringing a lot of loans, you're so doing things and this and this and this and this. You listen, last time I saw the outgoing deputy president, he was taking photographs in White House. You see, Miriam, there are a lot of things which are happening. Let us not allow people to destroy our country. Let us take every African and other countries as brothers and sisters. I submit. God bless you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think there are a couple of issues that you've mentioned there. Kiptanui, we've seen the spat between Kenya and Uganda on the Migigo Island. We saw during COVID-19 and how the trucks, I think, from Kenya are being handled at the border and it became a stalemate. We saw the aggression that was coming on the border between us and Tanzania, especially with the late President John Magufuli. We've seen aggression coming from Ethiopia and Somalia in several locations. And President Uhuru Kenyatta usually has decided to adopt a very silent approach as far as diplomacy is concerned in some of these cases. I think maybe with an understanding that we are neighbors, so perhaps the best way to meet aggression is just be diplomatic about it. And we've seen that has gone to diffuse some of situations which, if perhaps he would have used a different approach, would have spiraled maybe out of control. But the initial question I had posed about President Uhuru Kenyatta now being the chair of the East African Community, we've seen the efforts he's been making with the mediation processes in the Democratic Republic of Congo, between Rwanda and Uganda, and numerous others we can't even go into single details into. And under him, Kenya was able to get the non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council, and right now Kenya is chairing the AU Peace and Security Council. Being very important bodies in this region and globally, as far as that is concerned. How would you say, Doc, President Uhuru Kenyatta has used this to address the issues of diplomacy within the East African and the greater Africa region? Okay, Gladwell. Jevan? Can we check if they're available at least? Jevan? All right, so I don't know if I'll go to Tawish. Tawish, I don't know if you've had that question.
Miriam, maybe you can come up with that question and then we repeat the question first.
Now, let me go to Tawish and then I'm coming back to you. Yeah, the people I was looking for I think they've suffered a bit of a technical hitch. But I'll come back to you and then I'll go to Dr. Tawish, did you hear my question?
Well, I did get your question, Miriam, and I think just like my other correspondents have well outlined, the whole concept about the foreign diplomacy, Miriam, is something to do with safeguarding the interests of the people of the country. And when you look into President Uhuru Kenyatta's diplomacy across board, be it regionally or even globally, it is more about the interests of the people of Kenya first. And I think in as much as there's a balance that you need to strike in terms of what is it that the other nation or the other people or the other country really is going to benefit from Kenya, the much emphasis should be about the interests of the people of Kenya and how best our interests are going to be safeguarded and how best is any kind of foreign diplomacy going to benefit the people of Kenya. And I think President Uhuru Kenyatta has achieved a very big on that aspect. He has scored big on that aspect. Because again, when you look into every of the pacts that President Uhuru Kenyatta has been signing, the kind of treaties, be it in the region or globally, it has been more driven on people-driven. It is about the larger interests of the people of Kenya. And I think that is what we need to emulate, we need to embrace moving forward, even as we go into this election. We want a leader who is able to put the interests of the people first. If it's about trade, if it's about businesses, if it's about the agricultural front, if it is about, the products that are being produced locally here in the country, how are they going to benefit the people of Kenya first? And I think President Uhuru Kenyatta has scored big time on that. And I think the people of Kenya are very, very impressed that the president has put the best interests of the people of Kenya at heart. And in any kind of fora, in any kind of treaties or pacts that Kenya has been signing ever since President Uhuru Kenyatta came into power, silently or openly, you can quite agree that all this has largely been about the people of Kenya, and I think that is what we need to do. That is the way to go, even as we head into this coming general election, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much. Kenyatta'S, you can come in now. And of course, you are the one who brought up these examples in a few cases, and the aggressions that perhaps we saw from our neighbors, our immediate neighbors, and the kind of approach the government of Kenya through its diplomacy chose to take. How would you say this approach has served us? Tawish there has reminded us that every foreign diplomacy, every policy on that, the first people it's supposed to serve is the people of that country. So this approach, has it served us as a country?
Yes, it has served us well, because we've seen the relationship. If you get out of this country, Miriam, you're not even getting out of this country. Some of us who are always on this social media, you see people saying you don't destroy your country. Kenya is a peaceful country. You see, we have so many people, they are coming to invest here. As I was telling you the other time, I will be visiting another cement factory around. It has served us well. We got vaccines. We got money to do STR. We got money to do some many projects. Look, for example, Miriam, the dry port. The dry port now is serving us well, because the cargo there will be transported to so many countries: Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, and everything else. So this international relations, this international diplomacy actually has helped us so much. We have peace. Now many countries are emulating us. They are saying, you see, let us be like Kenyans. They have peace. They have peace. You see, His Excellency, the head of state, has received a lot of awards. He has been congratulated all over. I saw somebody in, I don't know which country. Oh, let me come now to.
We can't hear you, Kenyatta'S.
During lunch hours, during prayer, I don't know whether it was the inauguration of the current president, where the prayers actually. Are you getting?
In Tanzania, it was in Tanzania.
In Tanzania, it was in Tanzania. He actually stood. He was reading his speech, and then all of a sudden, with our brothers and sisters in Muslims in a nearby mosque, he kept silent after they finished their prayers to continue, and he was applauded because of that. Miriam, as my brother Tarush from where he is, he has said that we need to, as we are going towards these elections in these 19 or 20 days which are coming, we need to elect president who is coming, who will not be engaging to have great diplomacy, who knows what to do. And for example, you see, also our presidential candidate for Vasinio, with Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga. You see, because of what he has done in this country, he was given a position in Africa. He is leading infrastructure. He's the chairperson of infrastructure. So, Miriam, we are moving well. It has actually served us well. Thank you.
Yes, Raila Odinga is the special envoy for AU infrastructure.
Yeah,
Thank you
if I
very
can
much.
maybe just give an additional point on what he has said.
And as you do that also, once you're done adding your voice to that, also you can tell us from where you sit, what will Kenyatta be remembered for as far as diplomacy is concerned. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miriam, for that. And I think I just wanted really to put, before I come into that, to put more emphasis on what my brother Kenyatta'S has just said. And when you look into the approach that President Uhuru Kenyatta is having in terms of his foreign diplomacy, it's been more of proactive. It has been more of negotiations, dialogue, and a peaceful way of trying to have a good relation between Kenya and the rest of the other neighboring countries. And I think that is the best approach, Miriam, that we all need really to applaud. Because again, you need not to wait until a crisis is in the offing or something bad has happened so that you can reach out to the neighboring countries. If you ask me today what President Kenyatta has done, say, with Somalia, what he's doing with Uganda and the rest of the countries around this region, it is something that is commendable, because you cannot wait until, say, a war erupts is when you try to reach out to a neighbor or reach out to another state or even to a head of state to be able to solve those issues. So when you have good relationship, when you're able to sit down, dialogue, and have a negotiation, like for example, how President Kenyatta has done it with Somalia, I think that is the best way, Miriam. If it were not for such kind of proactiveness from President Uhuru Kenyatta, if it were not for such kind of appreciation, then probably another president would have waited until Kenya and Somalia goes into war before they can sit down and be able to find an amicable solution to the problem that Kenya and Somalia has had over time, especially one which emanated from the maritime dispute in the Indian Ocean waters. So these are things that I would say that President Kenyatta has quite done well. You also ask, Miriam, what is it that President Kenyatta really will be remembered for as he plans to exit from office after serving his second and last term in office? There's so much, Miriam. You cannot forget President Uhuru Kenyatta when it comes to the issue of infrastructure in this country. I mean, he has achieved a lot exemplary, even beyond the three previous presidents combined, including his own father, who was the founding nation of this country. When you talk about the issue of peace, Miriam, because no nation can be built, no nation can be able to prosper without necessarily embedding or embracing peace. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has been proactive. He's been in the forefront in ensuring that Kenya is not only at peace with itself, but it also is at peace with the neighbors in the region. I think that is something that is commendable and laudable of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And everybody is out here to see that he has served his 2 terms in office and is leaving office without Kenya going into war with any nation, or even the people of Kenya really fighting, apart from, of course, a few pitfalls, including those of, political violence during elections. But again, he was able to reach out to his main political nemesis then, turned friend, Raila Amolo Odinga, and support him. And even in his bid to succeed him come the 9th of August. That is something that is unheard of, even in the region, leave alone in the globally, Miriam, that you will have a sitting president reaching out to the opposition leader, one he has beaten twice in the ballot, and asking him, embracing him, and asking to work together for the greater good of the people of Kenya. And I think this is something that the whole world has been talking about. This is something that is going to be written in our history. People will be reading, and Kenya will be an example that you can be able to bury the political hatchet and work together for the good of a nation. Miriam, I've talked about the issue of infrastructure. Look into the creation of jobs in this country. I mean, it's only during President Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure that you've seen a project such as, for example, affordable housing being started. Although it has been disrupted by politics of deceit, one that has been spearheaded by Deputy President William Ruto, but you will say that it's made strides in as far as that is concerned. Miriam, look into the manufacturing industry. I mean, so many companies have been revived. You go to Kikomi in Kisumu, you go to Rivertex in Eldoret, just to mention but a few. I mean, look into the port of Mombasa, look into the port of Kisumu. I mean, just but to mention a few, Miriam. What more that Kenyan people can ask from President Uhuru Kenyatta? The famous, the SGR, Standard Gauge Railway, all the way from Mombasa to Nairobi and now going to the dry port of Naivasha. I mean, people now can take very few hours to travel from Mombasa to Nairobi and even to Naivasha. What does it mean in essence? I mean, the Kenyan people will be able to do their business because now transport has been eased. Even the foreigners, people who will be visiting or continue to visit this nation can see Kenya as an investment destination. Even the tourists will be able to come and traverse from Mombasa to Nairobi and even to Masai Mara with a lot of ease. I mean, Miriam, what else would you ask from a president? There are so many things you can talk of. Look into the tea industry in this country. Look into the coffee. I mean, the farmers have been given a boost in terms of how much they're earning today per kilo when it comes to tea, when it comes to coffee. And now the miraa traders are also going to have it easy exporting their miraa to Somalia. And look into the Mumias Sugar Company is also going to be reopened very, very soon, Miriam. I mean, all this is because of President Uhuru Kenyatta's commitment to make sure that he betters the lives of the people of Kenya and that he leaves this country better than he found it. And I think that should be the clarion call, that whoever is even going to come into place must be able to fit into President Uhuru Kenyatta's shoes, must be able to do better than what President Uhuru Kenyatta has been able to achieve for the people of Kenya. But more importantly, as I conclude on that, the best thing that he will be remembered for is that President Uhuru Kenyatta is determined to leave this country in a safe pair of hands, and that is none other than Raila Amolo Odinga come the August 9th general election. I submit.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Doctor, can you hear me? You're muted.
Yes. Thank you very much. I was listening to Tawish while I'm on the press conference, and I think we better switch on live. It looks like we have to somehow cut some of these things and switch on live.
We're actually
across
done, Doc. I was just waiting for you to give the final word so we can just move on there.
Yes. One of the most outstanding things that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has done from 2013 to 2018, which will take part of 3/4 of his legacy, is what exactly Tawish has just said. The handshake. It has never been there. It has never been across the globe at all that two competitors come together, shelve their ambitions, and say this is the direction we want to go. As we speak today, many countries across the continent of Africa are grappling with how do we control our opposition. Uganda, for example, cannot even see eye to eye. Opposition in Uganda does not come for national functions. Opposition in Uganda is like a goat and a leopard. Museveni and the opposition, the younger man Bob Wine, they have running battles both in the stomach and outside. All of them go back and each one thinks there is a problem. This one thinks suspiciously about the other one. So one good thing that Uhuru Kenyatta has done and left a legacy, an outstanding diplomatic, silent diplomacy of a redemption strategy. Like it, hate it, if you want it. If you don't walk that route, you don't walk that route. Believe me, my sister and my brothers on this platform, Kenya can never be stable. Kenya needs to be stable in order for people to be able to move the goods they transport, the cows, one cow, one man, one family, one cow, 6,000. That's now the new slogan now. Each household in Kenya should have a cow. But you cannot feed that cow when there is war on the streets. You can't feed it. So you need peace. And that peace can only come when you have picked what we call a redemption strategy. I am very impressed that His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, together with other people, and as we speak right now, President Uhuru Kenyatta is in sessions or sessions, whatever, I don't know how Kenyans call it, sessions or sessions. Miriam knows the better pronunciation. He has hammered a number of agreements, especially surrounding the Indian Ocean, the green, what is it called, maritime environment. Economy. You need that economy. You need to sell the fish. You need to fish. You need to be able to export this fish to some destinations. You need to. And you need to have a stable country where there is no corruption. Seychelles is one of the countries, the safest in Africa, with zero corruption, because there are very few. Everybody will know who has stolen from who. That is one of the good things that President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has been able to do and delivered to us, is that we enjoy here. Freedom that we enjoy here. The tranquility that we enjoy here. Tawisha summarized it. I want to cap it and put it on. He talked of that. Another good thing that you have talked about in summary, the UN, I believe, have gone, the UN, United Nations Security Council slot, the African Union Security Council slot, the Somali conflict, which has faded, and they will fade with the new president in Somalia and the good president in Kenya, like Raila Amolo Odinga, who is coming on 10th. Things will fade up, will fade off, and then we can have peace in the region. Silent diplomacy. Silent diplomacy. I thank you very much, President Uhuru Kenyatta, for the tenacity that you have shown in handling issues that disturb Africa. One of them is peace. The second one is democracy. A democracy of winner takes all has disturbed, disorganized Africa for a long time. It is one of the main reasons why Africa is at war. And I thank you very much for all what you have done. I thank you too for all the type of understandings that you have been there for the people of Kenya as we continue to do the same throughout. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And that's where we end.
I saw Douglas Kirimi and he went. Did he talk?
Not really. He came in when we were done, a bit after 1.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.